Revenue is the increase in economic benefits through inflows, enhancement of assets, or decrease of liabilities that cause an increase in equity, other than those relating to contributions from equity participants. Transactions processed by the revenue process include the sales, cash receipts, and sales returns. Auditors are concerned whether there are material misstatements in these transactions. When auditing revenue transactions, the auditor must ensure all revenue transactions that have been recorded have occurred. The main concern here is that the company has recorded revenue when goods are not shipped or services are not performed. This will overstate sales. All revenue transactions that should have been recorded must be recorded. If revenue is not recorded even though goods have been shipped or services have been performed, sales will be understated. All revenue transactions should be properly authorized. Otherwise, the company may ship goods or perform services for a customer who is a bad credit risk, increasing the risk of bad debts. The amount and other data relating to recorded revenue transactions must be recorded appropriately. Cut-off addresses the timing when the revenue transactions are recorded. It should be recorded in the correct accounting period, the period which the goods are delivered to the customer. All revenue transactions must be recorded in the proper accounts, otherwise, the company will bill the customer incorrectly. Similarly, when auditing cash receipts transactions, these are the key assertions involved. The auditor must ensure all cash receipts that have been recorded have occurred. The main concern here is that the company has recorded cash receipts when such cash receipts are not deposited into the company's bank account. All cash receipts that should have been recorded must be recorded, so the auditor should check if the company has received and deposited cash but did not record it. All cash receipts should be properly authorized, otherwise the policies concerning cash discount may not be followed. This means the company may accept a discounted amount of cash from a customer even if he did not comply with the cash discount terms. The amounts and other data relating to recorded cash receipts must be recorded appropriately. Cut-off addresses the timing when the cash receipts are recorded. It should be recorded in the correct accounting period, the period when the company received the cash from the customer. All cash receipts must be recorded in the proper accounts, otherwise the company will bill the customer incorrectly. To assess the risk of material misstatement in the revenue process, the auditor can compute the following: average collection period, which is derived by taking the average accounts receivable divided by sales and multiplied by 365. Bad debts expense as a percentage of sales, comparison of sales recorded daily, and comparison of sales return as a percentage of sales. If the average collection period is unusually high, if the bad debts expense over revenue is unusually low, if there is an abnormal spike in daily sales, or if sales returns over sales is unusually low, it may indicate that the revenue process has a higher risk of material misstatements, and the auditor should lower the detection risk by collecting more audit evidence. An accounts receivable aging classifies the accounts receivable based on how long the debt is due. It looks something like this. One of the auditor's concern is whether all accounts receivable have been included in the general ledger. Hence, an auditor should reconcile the accounts receivable aging to the general ledger account. This will detect an omission of accounts receivable in the general ledger. Another concern is whether adequate allowance for impairment of receivables have been made. The auditor could look out for old debt and discuss results with the credit manager. In this case, customer number 6 raised the concern of whether the debt can still be collected, given that it is more than 90 days due. Another method is to investigate subsequent year receipts. If the customer paid up subsequently, it indicates that the debt is still collectible. Hence, the amount exposed to credit risk is the accounts receivable balance minus the subsequent year receipt. The auditor should then determine if the amount exposed to credit risk should be impaired. One of the key assertions relating to the revenue process is cut-off. All revenue transactions and related accounts receivable should be recorded in the correct period. So the auditor could test some shipping documents a few days before year-end and check if the sales is indeed delivered on or before year-end. The auditor could also test some shipping documents a few days after year-end to check if the sales is indeed delivered after year-end. Accounts receivable confirmation is a technique where the auditor obtains information from third parties about the accounts receivable balance. It is a written request sent to the customer asking them to verify if the balance owing is correct and to state differences, if any. Since it is an external source of information, it is reliable in verifying the existence of accounts receivable. Most importantly, the auditor should maintain control over the selection, sending, and receiving of the confirmation letters. An auditor could send either a positive confirmation or a negative confirmation. A positive confirmation requests that the customer indicate whether they agree with the amount due. This means a response is expected regardless of whether the customer agree or disagree with the balance indicated. A negative confirmation requests that the customer respond only when they disagree with the amount due. If the accounts receivable balance is large and the risk of material misstatement is high, positive confirmations are used. Negative confirmation, on the other hand, are used when the account balances are small and the risk of material misstatement is low.